Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ontario Cryptids. I hope you're all enjoying the nice sunny days we've been having lately. I know I have. Monday I posted my first YouTube Shorts. Now shorts are videos that are 1 minute or less. The video that I posted was of an old tree I came across last year while hiking the trails of Mono Cliffs Provincial Park. And that was actually the location my friend and I saw an incredibly large footprint captured in the mud. I will continue to post these shorts and I hope you guys enjoy them. By the way, if you're a returning guest and like my content, then please hit that like button and subscribe button to make this small channel grow. Just so you know, I haven't forgotten about the stream. I am making arrangements to stream either on July 1st or on the 8th. Now, July 1st is a long weekend, so I am waiting to see which date is better for our special guest. I will keep you posted on the date on my community page. Okay, so without further ado, we have 3 stories to share with you all today. We are going to be going to Wisconsin, New York, and Texas, so I hope you guys enjoy. And if you have an encounter story that you would like to share, then please forward your stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. I would be honored to share your story with like-minded people. Okay, go grab yourself a beverage and get cozy in your favorite spot and sit back and relax. The first encounter takes place on April the 21st, 2002. It takes place in Price County, Wisconsin, and the nearest town is Park Falls. It was early afternoon on a beautiful spring day. I was driving east on Highway 82 about 5 miles from Park Falls. My friend was in the car and observed it as well. We were headed to a tavern for a bite to eat and a drink. The creature ran across the road in 3 or 4 long strides, then headed south down a small embankment. There were no houses in the area. What we observed was very tall, broad, and hairy. It was not moving particularly fast and did not appear to be panicked about oncoming traffic. The creature's jog was a graceful glide, only took about 5 seconds before it was gone. I even made the comment to my friend that it was a Bigfoot. We pulled over where we saw the creature and exited the car to look for prints, but did not notice anything. There was no trail. After we arrived at the tavern, we told the regulars what we had seen, and no one believed us. The second encounter occurred on May 17th of 2022. Now, what a good day that is. Wink, wink. This one occurs in Steuben County, New York, and the nearest town is Irwin. I was hunting spring turkeys near the town of Irwin in New York State. I was sitting at the base of a tree located at the top of a ridgeline that connected to another ridge. I was calling gobbler turkeys that were on their roost trees when all of a sudden the gobblers flew down off the ridge from their roost. I was still sitting at the base of the tree, having not moved locations for half an hour, when I noticed something walking on 2 legs approximately 75 yards away. The thing was about 7 feet tall. At first I thought maybe another human was there hunting, but then it was apparent to me it was dark reddish brown from head to toe. This thing was in my view of sight for about 4 to 5 seconds and then went behind a tree, and that was the last time I had seen it. Then about 15 minutes later, having not moved, sitting in the same spot, to my left, approximately 30 yards, an object hit a tree about 25 feet up. Then the object that hit the tree hit the ground and sounded like a rock. I continued through the area for the rest of the morning with no further incidents. I have hunted in New York for 42 years and never witnessed something like this before. This last story takes place on March 4th, 2022. It takes place in Rusk County, Texas, and the nearest town is Henderson. I'll explain our most recent encounter below, but first, I'll tell some additional things that have been heard around where we live. My wife and I live in a rural area in East Texas, about 10 to 15 minutes from a town of about 13 to 14,000 people. It's a town of Henderson. My wife and I have heard howls on 2 different occasions. Once together about a year and a half ago. It was in the afternoon about 4 or 5 p.m., sitting outside with our dogs. Classic Bigfoot howl that sounded a good ways off. She also heard another howl about a year ago at a different property about 3 or 4 miles down the road. Her and her father were loading up a hog in a hog trailer, and she heard the same howl that we had heard together a few months before, but much louder and closer. The first sighting that she had, which was about 2.5 years ago, happened at night while she was letting our dogs back in from using the restroom. The dogs were on high alert while she was trying to call them in. She saw and then heard a very large, dark, bipedal thing running through the pasture behind us. From the sound, she knew it was extremely heavy and was too quick for a person. I examined the area that night and then the next day, but the ground was too firm for tracks. I firmly believe she saw and heard a Bigfoot that evening. That brings me to her most recent encounter. On March 4th, 2022, about 9:20 p.m., I get a text from her while sitting in my recliner, and she was in the bathtub, that she sees red eyes outside the bathroom window looking at her. I wait for her to finish getting out of the bathtub to talk to her. She explains to me that while she was standing up to get out of the tub, she had a feeling of being watched. She looked over to the window and saw the red eyes looking at her about midway up the window. After she saw them, she immediately looked away due to being startled. The motion light on the end of the house came on when she looked away, and when she looked back, whatever it was gone. I asked her if she noticed the light coming on and off before she exited the tub, and she said that she didn't recall it coming on, but wasn't really paying attention. She said she wouldn't have noticed the light due to her being on her phone while in the tub, and most of, if not nearly all of the window in her line of sight is blocked by a large plant that's by the window. The motion light is very sensitive and responds well to the slightest movement. After she saw nothing was there, she immediately closed the window and curtains. Now, to give you some context, earlier before she got into the tub, I sprayed some coil cleaner on the A coil in our house to clean it. I turned on the AC to help the cleaning process. By now, she was already in the tub and was complaining to me of the smell going through the house from the coil cleaner. So I went into the bathroom and opened up the curtains and the window for her so that she could get some fresh air. She told me that she didn't feel threatened by whatever it was looking at her, just startled to see red eyes and something right outside the window. She did not see the outline of a body, just the eyes. I asked how far apart the eyes were, and from what she showed me, it came out to be about 6 inches apart. Further apart than our eyes are for sure. She said that she did not hear it run away and did not smell anything unpleasant except the coil cleaner. After hearing this, I grabbed my .45 and walked outside to the window to examine the area. I had to get her to the window on the inside so that I could get a little more information out of her. Understandably, she was pretty shaken up at this point. When I get to the window, she shows me approximately how high the eyes were off the ground and where they were positioned. Now, keep in mind, our house sits off the ground and isn't on a slab. She said the eyes were just below the bottom sash bar of the window. When I opened the window earlier, I opened it up as far as it would go up. I'm 6 feet tall, and going off where she said the eyes were, I estimated them to be around 6 foot 8 inches to 7 foot off the ground. Now, the angle that the eyes were in the window was perfectly in line to look through that plant I had mentioned to examine my wife in the bathtub. Talk about freaky. I did not notice any footprints on the ground around the window or handprints on the house. I have been a believer in Bigfoot for years due to stories I have heard from certain people and things I have heard in the woods in past experiences. My wife has not been a believer, but going off of the things that she has heard and now seen with her own eyes, she just might have changed her mind. There you have it, guys. 3 stories today, and each one is probably similar to other stories that we have heard. The graceful movements of these creatures, as well as the red shiny eyes. Now, these are perfect examples that there is something living out there in the woods or in situations where you are living in a remote area. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more information that's to come regarding the live stream. And if you have an encounter story that you may have had and would like to share, then please forward your stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. I would be honored to share your story on this channel. All right, thank you again for listening until the end. I truly appreciate it. Please hit that like button on your way out, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you're new to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all my uploads and even my shorts. Have a great weekend, and I hope to see you all next week right here on Ontario Cryptids.